I will love it if we beat them. Love it.
I'm not going to listen to that kind of stuff.
That man didn't have the decency to even make a phone call.
And I'm not going to listen to him being called a tug by you.
Because he's spoiling great games.
I think now I'm a creep.
Hello and welcome to another edition of the Angry Football Podcast. I'm Ronan.
I'm Adam Dunn.
And today we'll be covering the awful display in the European action we've had this week.
We had some ludicrous display.
Absolutely, it's the highlight of excess and financial unfair play in the modern game of football.
Yes,
so we're
indeed.
going to start off with the pinnacle of cynical, the Champions League.
Champions League, and we're going to start off with the money bags versus the money bags.
Yeah, PSG versus Chelsea. So I will point out that in the show notes that I've compiled, it's just Zlatan. Followed by different question marks. But we'll start with the match itself. And what are your thoughts on it, Adam?
My thoughts. I thought Chelsea looked very poor. They were absolutely dominated by PSG for large spells of the game, and really, PSG, they could have won by a lot more if they really wanted to. It was Zlatan was playing as they were playing 4-3-3 with Zlatan as the striker, and it was one of those games where he just didn't look interested. Mm-hmm. They had Cavani was on the bench, and
I'm sorry, PSG is a team with so much money that you can afford to Edison Cavani on the bench. You know, in a tie that's meant to be a very competitive match against Chelsea.
Yeah, I mean, there's Zlatan up front with Di Maria and Lucas Moura on the wings, and Zlatan just didn't look really interested. And Cavani came off.
PSG can still dominate when their main striker doesn't look interested.
They can still dominate, especially in that midfield area. They had Marco Verratti and Blaise Matuidi, who were really just kind of pulling the strings. They're passing the ball around well, getting into good advanced positions, and just Chelsea. They had John Obi Mikel and Fabregas in the midfield, and they just couldn't get a grip on the game. Mm-hmm. And like I said, PSG, they could have won by more if Zlatan was in the mood, but Cavani came off the bench and scored a very good goal. It was a very good finish, and I reckon if he had started, they could have scored.
Though maybe that tactically they knew that based on Chelsea's league form, that Chelsea really weren't worth the effort, and they just kind of took it easy.
Maybe they did, yeah.
Though in fairness, PSG don't need to put in the effort in League One either.
Not really, they're so far ahead. Monaco, who were in second place, they're closer to
the second bottom team in League One than they are to PSG. They are that dominant. This is unprecedented. You think you got teams like Olympiacos Lyonnais and Marseille, and Monaco themselves. These are teams that should be competing at the top, but they're just being completely left in the dust of PSG.
Yeah, just the last few years, PSG have really become they've been spending massively. Even in the last few years, you still had some of the smaller teams winning the league title in France. Back in 2011, Lille won the league, and was it 2012 or 2013? Montpellier won for the first time in their in their history. And just to give you an idea, that would be if Wigan won the Premier League,
or maybe Leicester,
or Leicester. Yeah. But Montpellier, it's more of a rugby city than football.
Actually, then the league. The Wigan comparison is quite apt there. Because I do remember when Wigan got to the FA Cup final, it was that they were interviewing people from Wigan. It's we're not really into that soccer. It's more rugby league here.
Rugby league, So it was
we just look 2011, 2012 was Lille and Montpellier.
Yeah, before that you had Marseille and Bordeaux.
So that's 4 different league winners in as many years.
Yeah,
and mind you, this did follow 7, 8 consecutive wins by Lyon.
The era of dominance for Lyon. But then you had 4 different winners, and of those four, three of them wouldn't be considered big teams in France, like Bordeaux, Lille, and Montpellier. Like Marseille
would be, yeah.
But even so, Marseille, they don't seem to have won it.
Historically, we're on the Wikipedia here, folks.
Yeah.
I think they had a period of success in the late 80s and early 90s.
Yeah.
So we can equate Marseille to the McLaren of French League One, the late 80s, early 90s, and Lyon to be the Michael Schumacher. Well, oddly enough, Lyon's period of domination corresponds with Schumacher's 4 in a row with Ferrari.
It's worth noting that when Ronan says McLaren, he's talking about McLaren F1, not Steve McLaren.
No.
Unfortunately, if he could have any success, that would be great.
But didn't he not win the league with FC20?
He did indeed, yeah.
Yes.
We'll give him that, yeah.
But I think it is odd, Paris Saint-Germain's success has not been so forthcoming for them up until recently. Like considering that they're the only big club in Paris itself. Like the last win was the 93-94 season.
To be fair, though, they're a relatively new club, aren't they? Like they're founded in 1970 or something.
It was an amalgamation of two previous clubs. So there is that to consider.
Yeah.
But if you were to imagine like that West Ham were the only club in London, you would expect them to be able to do a lot more. A city of 8 million people.
Yeah,
and there's one top flight club.
That's a very good point. Yeah. Like it's interesting. It's kind of unusual that for a city so big that there's not like more clubs. Like even in not necessarily at the top of the league. Like even if you look at London, you've got Arsenal, and you've got Tottenham, and you've got Chelsea, all sort of towards the top. Chelsea,
Well, this year notwithstanding, of course, historically speaking.
Yeah, and then you also like loads of other clubs like West Ham, like
Crystal Palace,
QPR, Crystal Palace, Charlton. There's loads of them there. Yeah,
it's a bit of, but it is money that's been driving this Paris Saint-Germain team forward, which is unfortunate. In football.
And I was watching the PSG and Chelsea match, and normally when I'm watching a Champions League match as a neutral observer, unfortunately. Yeah. It's a long time since Newcastle were in the Champions League.
I would like to remind people that the last time Spurs were involved in the Champions League, they scored usually 3 goals per game.
I'd also like to remind people that the last time Newcastle were in the Champions League, Shola scored in the the Camp Nou.
Shola
Amiobi, yes, he scored against Barca.
You can't say much, but at least he's got that.
We always having nightmares about Shola. But as I was saying, as a neutral observer, I'll usually be up for one of the teams. Like I'll sympathise with one of the teams, and like usually I like to go for the team who like usually if it's a team who like a smaller club or
the underdog,
the teams who have more like homegrown players, academy players. Because I remember watching Man City against Ajax a few seasons ago, and
everyone hates Man City anyway. So
nobody was giving Ajax a chance in that game, and like their team was full of like academy graduates, whereas Man City had all the big money players like Aguero and Silva and Nasri and Toure and all these. But Ajax won 3-1, and I was delighted, needless to say. But but in this Chelsea versus PSG match, I didn't know who to be up for. I was like, I don't like how either of them work. They just buy those people for ridiculous.
And I did hear a room that Eden Hazard was sort of making eyes at PSG. He was commenting, it would be difficult to resist a club like PSG.
It would be difficult to resist lots of money, basically.
Yeah, and he's saying that he wanted to be in a club that has the potential to win the Champions League.
Yeah.
But you think of Eden, Chelsea have won the Champions League.
Yeah.
And they buy players like Eden Hazard to give them the potential to win it.
Yeah.
And Eden Hazard should be one of these players driving Chelsea forward. Instead, things are tough. He's looking for the first out just so he can play Champions League football.
Yeah.
He's not fulfilling his role, being like someone to drive this team to greater things.
And that could kind of explain why Chelsea are kind of struggling at the moment. Their players, they're not used to having to fight for things. Like when the going gets tough, they just look for moves away. Like, because to be fair, like their reputations these players have very big reputations. Like even after a bad season, they could still get a big money move.
Yeah.
So there's no real motivation there for them to fight, really. Like, 'cause you're looking at in the modern day, like in the modern day football, like reputation is a big thing. Like,
absolutely.
you look at Man United, for example. Even after the disaster of the Moyes, the David Moyes season,
I wouldn't call it a disaster.
well, by the standards Man United had set in the previous decade.
I just want to go on record here as saying I predicted the outside Champions League finish for United when David Moyes took over. I thought the Ferguson team that he had inherited was incredibly overrated, and there were too many old Ferguson guys still hanging around in the background.
The squad that Man United squad really needed
an overhaul, and it wasn't done. But
but anyway, back to what I was saying there. Even after they finished 7th or something under Moyes, and so no European football for them, and normally that would be, for a lot of clubs, that would be disastrous. If it was another club, if they have a really good players and
if
they finish outside Europe, then they're going to find it hard to attract really good players again, and they're going to find it hard to keep the good players that they do have.
Yeah.
But Man United didn't have that problem. Even after finishing 7th, they were still able to attract the likes of Di Maria, and who else did they buy?
Falcao,
Herrera, Luke Shaw, they still were able to bring in some
very big name players.
Yeah,
but that's the thing. It's a legacy. Why do you think Liverpool are still talked about so much in the media? It's given they did finish 2nd a few years ago.
Yeah,
through the scoring prowess of Luis Suarez, and I'd say
sure.
all the hype around them then was deserved because they were in with the shout of winning the league. But at the moment, it was when will Liverpool get back on top?
The last few seasons, apart from that season where they finished 2nd, the last few seasons they've been generally kind of struggling to challenge for a Europa League spot. Sorry Liverpool fans, but that's the truth.
No, we're not denying the great history that Liverpool have, absolutely dominating for periods in English football through fantastic teams and players like Kenny Dalglish in it.
Yeah.
In it, that's undeniable. But to still hang on to it, I'm not holding on to the Tottenham team that won the UEFA Cup in the 80s,
and I'm not
with Chris Hughton in it,
and I'm not holding on to Kevin Keegan's entertainers in the mid-90s with Newcastle or even the Sir Bobby Robson era, which was also pretty good.
You have to move on, which is important. And speaking of moving on, Zlatan might be moving on from PSG.
Yeah, he's out of contract in the summer, I believe. So, and I don't think there's any sign of him renewing his contract.
Yeah.
So he is probably going to move, and there's a lot of talk about where will he go, and
it looks like China seems to be, as we discussed last time, that China's a big pull for a lot of players now. They have ridiculous amounts of money.
Yeah, China is really becoming a big players in world football, in terms of the transfer market. Anyway, they're really attracting a lot of players over there now. So I mean, look at Zlatan. What age is he now? He's about 33 or 34.
Is he?
Yeah.
Wow, that's it's hard to believe he's been around that long.
Yeah. So at this stage in his career, he's probably going to be looking for one last big payday before he retires, because to be fair, a football career is short. So I mean,
I would like to see Zlatan Ibrahimovic on the ITV Champions League coverage. Him, Adrian Childs. Who else? Some of the most boring people. They used to have Gary Neville, of course. They have Roy Keane. I think Zlatan and Roy Keane would be an interesting pairing in a confined space. Now.
That would be quite interesting. But so China is a big possibility. The MLS as well, which has also been kind of a retirement home for players.
Robbie Keane being the exception, who seems to have found the form of his life in the MLS. But the rumor I have heard is for Zlatan to move to, is it Orlando or Miami? It's David Beckham's club in the MLS.
Yeah.
That isn't going to come online for another year.
Yeah.
So what word on the grapevine is Zlatan to go to England for a year, take a bit of a pay cut, and then cash out to the MLS in the for his twilight days.
Yeah, well, I think he has kind of hinted and suggested that he would like to play in England because he has always been linked with like moves to England, like there was
Particularly to Chelsea.
to Chelsea, like, and there was also links to Arsenal, like very early in his career. Like there was the whole Zlatan doesn't do auditions, where he was invited to come for a trial at Arsenal. But so he has moved around a lot in his career. Like he played at Ajax, he played
Barcelona.
He played at Barcelona. He played with both Milan. He played. Obviously, he started out in the Swedish league. He was a Malmo or someone.
He clearly just isn't a person as a problem moving. So we do
in France now. Yeah, so
we keep an eye on this.
Yeah,
so.
he doesn't seem to be fazed by trying on a new challenge and a new league. Like so, he's proven himself like in lots of different leagues. So. Don't be surprised to see him, have a go at England before
moving off to China or the MLS for greener pastures. And by green, we
mean
money. Lots and lots of money.
Cash dollars.
Next round of Champions League fixtures feature Man City playing Atletico Madrid and Arsenal versus Barca. The Man City match probably promises to be quite entertaining. Now.
It'll be very interesting because two very different styles of football, and also. Yeah, there's been a lot of questions raised over Man City and what's his name? Pellegrini, yeah, because he knows he's going to lose his job at the end of the season. They've already announced that they'll be appointing Pep Guardiola at the end of the season.
So Pellegrini's going to play all academy players from now on.
Yeah, well, you would wonder, like, if you were told, at the end of the season you're going to be replaced, no matter how well you do, because technically Man City. Are still they're still fighting in all the
there's still like contention for less for the Premier League now,
less for the Premier League. Well, I mean, still like
there's 3 possible competitions they could win, but
are they still in the league?
The FA, are they not?
I know they're in the FA Cup, but are they still in the League Cup?
I'm not sure. But Tottenham got knocked out, so I haven't been paying attention to it.
Newcastle also knocked out.
So we're just disregarding those competitions.
Yeah, we're still bitter over being knocked out. But I'm not sure. But they could possibly. So, they're still technically in with a chance of winning 3, possibly 4 trophies this season. And, that's unbelievable to imagine, that if they... I know it's not probable, but it's possible,
and
they could win a
treble
or a quadruple. and if they did that, it doesn't matter. Pellegrini's still going to be replaced by Guardiola.
Well, didn't that happen to Barcelona? No, at Bayern Munich. Was it Klinsmann won the league, but he was going to be replaced anyway? It's an interesting scenario. Arsenal and Barca. Just Barca's 3 amigos of Messi, Suarez, and Neymar are just going to run riot over Arsenal, I fear.
I can imagine, Arsenal at the back, they don't have a huge amount of pace at the back. Mertesacker, God help him.
No, look, we think he's a great defender. It's just he doesn't have the legs anymore. But,
yes,
so unfortunate.
He's not exactly what you'd call pacey.
So we're just going to call that one a Barca win. Move on to the more interesting European competition, the Europa League.
Which we like and people don't give enough attention to. It's
kind of goes on for a bit too long, I think.
Yeah, it does go on a bit too long. It's just too many teams in it, and I can't find the whole thing that they dropped Champions League teams into it halfway through. That's kind of a bit annoying. But it's a good competition, and we're not just saying that because Spurs are in it at the moment and Newcastle were in it like 3 seasons ago or so.
It throws up some more interesting matches than the Champions League before.
Yeah, and it's a chance to get to see some of the other European clubs from some of the other leagues. Get a run as well.
Jurgen Klopp did refer to it as a mini Champions League. It's just without the profile, and we'll talk about the Liverpool game. Mentioning Klopp, 0-0. That's really it. That's really it.
That's all you can say about that.
There was a point that some of the FC Augsburg fans had translated some Scouse terms into German for them, so they wouldn't be too confused. which was nice.
That was nice.
Good on you. See,
but Bundesliga clubs are generally very well run.
Yeah, well, it's the 50+1 of the fans have to own a certain like that amount of the club. So
and generally, I generally find these Bundesliga clubs they're well run. They have the best interests of their fans at heart, and they usually have a good sense of humour, as seen by Hanover '96 recently, who were at the bottom of the Bundesliga, and they posted a tweet on their official Twitter account of the league table, but upside down, and saying top of the league.
Good old Hanover 96. Yeah,
I mean, they may be relegated, but at least they have a good.
And of course, your teams like St. Pauli.
St. Pauli with their very
distinctive. We'll go with that. Yeah. For any American listeners out there, imagine the Oakland Raiders. We're going to give you that. So
yeah.
Next match is Tottenham versus Fiorentina. That happened was 1-1. Tottenham scored a penalty, and Fiorentina had what at first I thought was a fantastic goal, but then turned out to be deflected.
Yeah.
Now, my main concern at the moment is that, as opposed to previous seasons where Spurs had quite a lot of squad players, this year it doesn't seem to be that way. And I worry that the Europa League will tax the Spurs squad, which isn't as deep.
Yeah.
And now particularly that Federico Fazio has left, we only have 3 centre halves.
3 senior centre backs, Wimmer, Alderweireld and Vertonghen.
And Vertonghen's injured at the moment. That does say that they're placing a lot of faith in youth players.
Which is good.
Yeah, but at the same time, I'm a little anxious that there was no Harry Kane playing during the week. In the Fiorentina game, so that's clear indication that you need to rest Harry for the league, which is the priority.
Yeah. So and it's a good point. Depth. If while we do like the Europa League, and it is a very good and exciting competition, it really does seem to take a lot out of teams, as well as the fact that it's a Thursday night. It doesn't give you as much time to recover for the weekend matches.
And it annoys me as well that the matches keep getting put on Match of the Day too as well. It's the Europa League teams play on a Sunday instead of a Saturday, which is rather annoying.
So depth is very important. I remember in Newcastle back in 2012, they were in the Europa League, and they really didn't strengthen that summer. They had quite a small squad, and they didn't really strengthen it that summer, and
it proved to be fatal.
Proved to be fatal, yeah. Like injuries really kind of ravaged the squad, and we really just escaped relegation.
You saw the few teams, like a few years ago, Fulham were playing in the Europa League, but they played Spurs one Sunday. I think 9 of Fulham's starting 11 had played in the Europa League. 4 of Spurs' team had played in the Europa League. I remember under Harry Redknapp, who famously didn't play most of the starting 11 in the Europa League. I remember I went to see Tottenham play Shamrock Rovers in the Europa League. That's Harry Kane was starting back then when he was a nobody.
You knew Harry Kane before he was...
he scored his first Spurs goal that night anyway. So him and Andros Townsend was playing as well. So
Newcastle legend.
Well,
I hope.
Jury's still out on that one, Adam.
Well, I hope.
So the depth is a concern for Tottenham. They don't want to get ravaged by injuries.
Yeah.
Injuries to players like Harry Kane, Alderweireld or Eric Lamela could seriously hamper the title challenge. And using injuries as a nice segue to our other Europa League game, Manchester United versus a team we can't pronounce.
Yeah, because they don't have enough vowels in their name.
So we're just going to call them Michelin from now on. Sorry, to any fans out there, we apologise.
To all our dedicated Danish followers. Sorry, we're trying our best.
Yes, but a United team completely ravaged by injury.
Yeah, they have a full starting 11 of injured players.
Yeah, so we're going to try and look through that.
Okay, so in goals,
De Gea got injured in the
warm-up.
I believe that actually Van Gaal said it was the law of Murphy that his team were being subjected to here. So
maybe there's a problem with the training regime or the.
It could just come down to bad luck. It does happen, which is unfortunate. The De Gea getting injured in the warm-up.
Yeah, so right back then, Guillermo Varela
just has a knock. Then
Marcus Rocco.
Rojo, was that how?
Rojo.
Rojo?
Rojo. You should brush up on your Espanol, Ronan.
Por favor. So, centre half injured.
Cameron Borthwick
Jackson.
He's a young player, but has kind of played for the first team.
Luke Shaw, which is a very big blow.
Yeah.
Is Daley Blind injured as well?
Well, I'm not sure. We've got Phil
Jones and Fellaini. Okay, so I thought that was actually a picture of a referee dancing.
He's dancing over Fellaini's grave.
Schweinsteiger is injured as well. Valencia, Rooney, and Adam Januzaj as well.
Yeah, so
that's
a lot of important players. Like at the very least, there's a lot of depth.
But they are fortunate to have players to come in. But United really are without a main striker now that Rooney's injured. I know they have.
They have to play Martial up front.
Who plays better as a winger.
He's more of a winger who can play as a striker. Yeah. And
like
also,
Theo Walcott.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Theo, you're a winger. Get used to it, okay?
Also, I think that Man United front three that they did play with Martial, Memphis Depay, and Jesse Lingard. It's quite inexperienced as well. Like they're all right young in their early 20s. So
I think this could potentially be a good thing, though, with the influence of Rooney gone. It will give these players a chance to breathe. Yeah. So I think the faith Louis van Gaal has put in Wayne Rooney has absolutely astounded me. Like I've never seen a manager take so much on faith before. Like he has effectively set up his team around Wayne Rooney. Who's how old at this stage?
30, I think.
He's 30 odds, and he's got say 3 or 4 years left. Yep, he's going to be 31 this year.
Yeah.
A player who has had a decent scoring record in the past few seasons. 12 goals last year, 17 the year before that, 12 the year before that, and then 27, which is phenomenal.
The 2011,
12. That's his last fantastic season. And
before that, let's see, he's had two seasons where he's got more than 20 goals.
Yeah, and arguably one of the best strikers in the league, and he's been on and off.
But apart from that, he's been kind of like...
He's been consistent.
Solid,
mid-teens, which is what you want from your main striker. But you have to admit, Rooney he's had a good team behind him as well. Yeah. And he's gotten a lot of credit from that team. So maybe this will give these young players a chance to breathe.
Yeah, well, I think this could be kind of, a whole era of transition for Man United. I suppose this was always going to happen, like with the Ferguson era, like, there was very little kind of change. Like there was a lot of consistent players, like Giggs. Michael Carrick was around for a long time.
He's still around.
Giggs was pretty much there throughout the whole.
Paul Scholes,
like who even retired and came back for a while. Yeah, so there was a lot of old players there. So like this is a big transition period for Man United. I think they have a lot of kind of young players coming in, like Martial, Depay, Januzaj.
What's this kid? There's a kid, Will Keane, I think his name is now. He's been a striker. I don't think he'll get the chance, to be perfectly honest. He hasn't been out on loan 3 times. Hasn't really performed spectacularly on those loan spells, but.
It's some young defenders coming up as well, like Luke Shaw, who they bought off Southampton, but some from their own academy as well, like Borthwick Jackson and McNair, who's
Northern Irish, isn't he?
Northern Irish, and he's kind of established himself in the Man United.
Though he
has a regular now. But he
hasn't looked the same, I thought, this season compared to last. And I think he's young, give him some time.
Yeah, especially in he's a central defender, which is kind of an area where
you want a bit of experience.
Experienced players kind of probably reach their peak in that position later than other players.
You'd want to start bleeding him in though at this point, like pairing him with some of the lower like less important matches in the Premier League, pairing him with your main one, bring him on as a sub. And I don't think these players Van Gaal's hand his hand has been forced here to play a lot of his young players. So
ideally you want to kind of ease them into the first team, but I suppose that's kind of difficult at Man United because there's so much pressure and
the expectation was for him to win the league. Same with David Moyes, it was to win the league, and without that, when I think it's inevitable that Mourinho was going to come in here, that the Man United board have this sort of groupthink going on that they had to get Guardiola or Mourinho. They're the only two managers with the profile big enough to manage United. Mm-hmm. They wouldn't take the risk of hiring Alex Ferguson had they been there back in the day. It was like, who is this guy? Oh, he's managed Aberdeen to some Scottish League titles.
Yeah. And like Ferguson, like he kind of had a difficult start to his Man United.
It was a gamble to bring him in, but like
and they stuck with him even after he had like a difficult start. And you wouldn't really get that in the modern day. Really.
No, you wouldn't.
Yeah. So
but we'll use Rooney as a sort of springboard. It's like Rooney missing this. Rooney is a player who takes a while to get over his injuries. He's like, unfortunately, his body type lends itself to falling out of fitness very, very quickly.
Yeah.
And that he's every time he's got an injury, when he's come back, it's taken him a few weeks to sort of get back to sort of his usual self.
Yeah, and like he was only really starting to get back into form recently. Like he was starting to score a few more goals recently, and now he's got this injury, and that's kind of just set him back to probably when he comes back, he'll probably be back at the stage he was at the start of the season where he was like struggling.
It's going to have an impact on England for the Euros. Yeah. So if they do pick Rooney, the same way it wasn't the World Cup last year. It was one of the competitions before that. He was injured at the start of the tournament, and he didn't look fit at all playing for England. So Roy Hodgson faced with this dilemma. Was like, Wayne Rooney is the captain. Yeah. The player sort of pretty much past his peak at this point. And with a plethora of other options, do you go with Rooney at this point?
I think if you were going to pick Rooney, you'd really only be doing it for his reputation and for his supposed leadership. But like that's questionable, as we talked about last week with his constant, threatening to quit the
United
club in order to win a new big money contract that he probably didn't deserve. But if you were to pick players on form at the moment, I don't think he'd get into the squad. Like I think Kane.
He is the captain though, so you'd bring him along.
I
guess just tell him the match is somewhere else.
Thing is though, there's other players who could be in the squad on form who could captain England. But in terms of striker options, I don't think England are stuck for options.
No, Kane and Vardy at the moment.
Kane and Vardy at the moment are both on fire. Yeah. You've got even like Troy Deeney could be
absolutely.
He's been doing well for Watford. He's been kind of overshadowed a bit by Ikalo, but Troy Deeney he's
been consistent. He's been good. He's part of a good. He knows how to perform in a strike partnership.
Yeah, he sets up a lot of goals as well.
He's the new Emil Heskey minus.
He's probably a lot better than
Emil Heskey ever was,
But also Charlie Austin, if he starts to hit form for Southampton, he could be a good option to bring along.
Exactly, and I think it's we both support English clubs and watch the English league, so we have an interest in the English national team because these are the players we're seeing quite a lot of the time. And I think historically the England management has been blinded by picking players from the big clubs. Not really based on form. Like I remember when Scott Parker was playing for West Ham and he was playing out of his skin, and West Ham were at the bottom of the league. He got a call up to England.
Yeah.
And that was seen as unusual. It's like, what? This player is fighting relegation is going to be playing for England?
Yeah.
Or in the times like that Ricky Lambert got called up and he scored.
Yeah.
Andros Townsend got called up. He scored. So it does pay off to pick players based on form.
And we're just looking at the England squad from the last World Cup here, and there's a lot of Man United players, a lot of Liverpool players who probably didn't really deserve to be in there. Like, look,
see the match squads.
Look at just let people know we're on Wikipedia again.
It's a great. This is cited and referenced, and we will include all citations and references in a book published at the end of season 1. And I'll have season 1 is running for 10 years, so in 10 years' time you'll be able to see all the sources of our information
if you want.
If you want.
But look, Glenn Johnson there. I'm sorry, I'm not a fan of Glenn Johnson.
Well, just look at this here. He had 52 caps at the time. It's like, when was Glenn Johnson ever good enough to get 52 caps?
I don't know. I just think it was because he was playing for Liverpool.
Jordan, I'm willing to give Henderson the benefit of the doubt because he had been playing well for Liverpool at the time.
Yeah.
And he was relatively young at that stage.
Yeah. Who else do we have here?
And Lallana
Welbeck, just because he's a Man United.
Lallana, when he was playing well for Southampton, but he didn't really feature.
You didn't know.
In the squad. If I can just, we're going to bring up probably the group. See the squads that played in the group matches, but this has always baffled me about England. That there's always this expectation to keep players in the squad like that play for big teams.
Yeah,
and I do understand the need to have a core in your squad, like some senior players that you want there all the time to simulate the team spirit. Mm-hmm.
So we're just looking at the England team from their first game against Italy.
So you had Baines, who I think the Leighton Baines story is very unfortunate that the best years of possibly Baines' international career, he didn't get to play because Ashley Cole was still
Cole. And now you have Luke Shaw and
Ryan Bertrand and Kieran Gibbs.
Gibbs all coming up.
And there are players who play for big clubs that deserve it.
Yeah,
but
Baines,
Jagielka and Cahill, that's a decent. The back line of Barglen Johnson was decent enough, but then Gerrard and Henderson. Then,
I think Gerrard was a bit passive at that stage.
He was the captain, though, was a big name to bring. Then you had Rooney, Sterling, and Welbeck as behind Daniel Sturridge. Sturridge deserved a place in that team.
If he can stay fit, he's probably one of England's best strikers.
He's a good striker. Would like to see him get back fit because he's a phenomenal player.
Yeah. But look at the wings of Rooney and Welbeck.
Yeah, and to have Alan Lallana in that form on the bench, Jack Wilshere, Ross Barkley.
Yeah,
there wasn't much change then for the Uruguay match.
Yeah, they just kind of all they really did was switched Rooney into a more central position and put Sterling out on the wing.
And it was very clear from the Italy match that it wasn't working.
It wasn't working, And
then for the last match, didn't they did change it. They played
at this stage. They were already knocked out.
Yeah, they played Smalling, Shaw, Jones, Milner, Lallana, Barkley, and Wilshere. This is the game they should have been playing. They should have been playing the young players on the start.
Yeah, they got a draw against a very good Costa Rica team,
a surprisingly good Costa Rica team.
So that wasn't too bad. If they picked those players against Italy or Uruguay, they might have actually.
So if we were Roy Hodgson right now, we would.
Which we should be.
We should be, as we've clearly proven our footballing prowess is greater. Than Roy Hodgson's, who we pick. Now we're going to pick for two formations here because England do have one of the squads that have so much depth that they could play potentially two different formations.
Yeah.
So we're going to start with 4-4-2, which we think could work because if you look at, say, Leicester
have done very well with the 4-4-2.
And so have Watford.
Yeah.
And so we'll go...
4-4-2 could be making a comeback. The whole strike partnership. Yeah, so in goals...
I would go with Fraser Forster here.
The Geordie, the Newcastle Academy product, which we should have kept instead of selling to Celtic for $2 million.
Over Joe Hart, I'm willing to give players who've been on the fringe squad a bit of a break, and I think England need that. They need some revitalization, some risky picks. It could completely go wrong, but
I think Forster has proven himself. With Celtic in the Champions League, he was phenomenal in that 2-1 win over Barcelona, and now he's gone to Southampton where he's been absolutely excellent. He's kept a load of clean sheets. He's really been part of a very defensively good Southampton team. So
we will bring Joe Hart as well. You've two Englanders spoiled for choice there, definitely.
You've got Joe Hart and Jack Butland as well, who's doing very well for Stoke. So good. There's good options in the goalkeeper department.
Now the back four, I think, kind of picks itself. You want Gary Cahill there as
for the experience,
which is where you need, and then partner him with John Stones, I think.
John Stones, I think that's good because John Stones, he's a very good young talent, and what I like about Stones, he's really good at playing the ball out from the back, which Cal is.
He'd be more of a stopper, and then
he's more of a stopper, a good kind of old fashioned just clear the ball, I'll get it as far as away.
Rose Ed sort of centre half.
But you need a bit
exactly. And their wing backs, I've gone for Bertrand at left and Kyle Walker at right.
On form, they probably
And like you do have Kieran Gibbs there can come in and cover. Nathaniel
Klein at right back. Yeah. So you want fullbacks who can get forward, kind of give you a bit of width.
Now in midfield, for my like playing 4-4-2, my wide midfielders, I've gone for 2 big club players. Breaking my own rule. But I'm going for James Milner on the left.
Okay.
And Raheem Sterling on the right. Like, there's no doubting Sterling's ability. No,
as much as we don't like his personality or his attitude,
or his move to a club for oodles of money.
As much as we wanted him to fail in Man City, he's done pretty well actually. So
he should be part of the squad. And then on the left, James Milner, who's been very underrated part of the Man City squad when he was with it. He's performing well at Liverpool at the moment, and he's quite versatile. So
he's versatile, and he's a grafter, which you need in your team. Like you want to get that balance of kind of hard-working kind of players with the kind of the fancy flair players like Sterling, for example.
So now at centre
mid, you haven't.
Yeah, I haven't really put anything down here.
Well, I'm going to put someone forward here, John Joe
Shelby. I'd be inclined to agree with you, but what you'd want is an attacking and a holding player there.
Yeah,
I want to pick Dele Alli or say Ross Barkley, and that we just have 3 attacking players.
Yeah.
So
you'd be kind of going with kind of kamikaze tactics there,
pretty much. So
because I think Shelby, his talent is he has a lot of talent. His range of passing is phenomenal. Like he's really creative. He can play really good through balls to set up the strikers, but he doesn't always work hard for the team. Like
so maybe Shelby and Eric Dyer, who Eric Dyer famously played centre half for most of last season for Tottenham, now playing
centre mid now.
Or maybe we could see a swan song from Michael Carrick. You do. Fabian Delph could slot in there as well. He's not been playing that well not that frequently for Man City, but he's got a proven record.
He's a good defensive midfielder, and he's not a bad passer.
Well, ideally, Milner could play there as well.
Milner could, but
we want him on the left for the 4-4-2.
Or we could just go put somebody. If you want to just have complete raw pace on the wings, with Sterling on onside, you could put someone like Walcott
on the left,
or Zaha, who's been in pretty good form for Palace this season.
And then our front 2 pretty much pick themselves. We're going Harry Kane and Jamie Vardy here.
On form, those 2 deserve it. And we think they'd actually worked well together as a pair. And
then Troy Deeney is our impact sub.
As our impact sub, which he can really be a big impact sub. Like he's a very strong physical player. He can create chances as well.
And our second formation we've gone is 4-2-3-1, which is what Tottenham are playing at the moment. And Arsenal play as well.
Yeah.
So and Man City.
So
it's one of the more popular forms
here.
I haven't changed anything at the back. No, I think that's the same.
The only real change you might make at that is maybe bring in Smalling, who's been in pretty good.
Instead of Cahill, maybe he's
the problem with Smalling is he can have a disaster of a game. Like I remember the 3-3 draw between Man United and Newcastle, where Smalling he was pretty much involved in all of Newcastle's goals. Like
it's a bit of a bottler.
He lost his marker. He lost his mark. He was supposed to be marking Wijnaldum for the first goal, and he lost, allowing Wijnaldum to score. He gave away the penalty for the second goal by just rugby tackling Mitrovic to the ground, and for the third goal he got the assist for Paul Dummett. So
not a good, but I think England should consider him anyway.
They should
considering play. He's a mid-table squad in United. I'm gonna relish every opportunity to say that.
Yeah, but generally Smalling's been pretty good and consistent this season.
Our centre pairing have gone for say Barkley and Milner, but we could slot in Shelby there either. So that
I think it's interesting the way you've written it here. You've put Dele Alli as the
Well, that's where he plays for Spurs.
Yeah, but he has kind of played deeper as well.
Yeah, so
Barkley has.
I'd give him that chance up there, particularly with Kane. Well, I'm playing Kane as their centre forward here.
Yeah.
I think
so there's the understanding there between the two.
No, you can play deeper if you want.
Yeah. I'm just thinking though, because Ross Barkley
plays that role more frequently.
But I'd say Barkley probably could play deep if you want to do, because I actually think when he started out in Everton's academy, he started out as a centre back. So, but he was kind of like a ball playing centre back. Yeah. So he could play deeper if you wanted to.
Partner someone with James Milner anyway.
Yeah, because James Milner he'd work hard and he'd kind of be the more defensive.
We're not playing him on the wing here in this 4-2-3-1 because we need more pace on the wings. And I've gone with Theo Walcott and Raheem Sterling.
Yeah.
I'd be worried if I saw a team sheet that had Theo Walcott and Raheem Sterling on the wings.
So much pace there, like and they'll be like really getting up to support Kane. Like that could be really good. Because what I like about Kane is his hold of play is good, and he's also quite a creative player. Like he can play. His distribution is quite good. Like he can drop deep and play a good through ball or distribute it out onto the wings. Like his hold of play and link up play is very good. So if he had Walcott and Sterling running up in support of him, I think they could link up very well.
So if England take some risks, which they're notoriously adverse to doing,
yes,
so that
it's like they don't want to be good.
Yeah, the last great England team was the 2002 World Cup. I'm willing to put forward. It's a team that took a lot of risks going forward.
Yeah,
and it paid off. They're unfortunate to lose to eventual winners Brazil.
Yeah, I mean you can't begrudge them for that.
Yeah.
So this team kind of takes risks. It's worth it.
England won't take risks. Of course, they'll play Wayne Rooney. They will pick if they had the option, they pick Gerrard and Lampard again.
Yeah,
but they won't. We'll see Jordan Henderson in the middle of the field. We'll see probably with Adam Lallana.
Yeah. But in terms of the overall England squad, what other players would we like to see? In terms of
look, if Jack Wilshere gets fit, I'd like to see him in it now.
I think Leicester's midfield has two very good young English players in Danny Drinkwater and Mark Albrighton, who's both been excellent this season, and on form they probably should be. Yeah,
at least considered.
At least making the
squad and the training squad.
Yeah,
they'd be good to have to try out anyway. As we said, they do need to take risks. We are being a bit conservative, picking Sterling and Walcott as our wingers.
Yeah,
but I think we're going for the track record here. We know how blisteringly fast they are.
Yeah, I would like to see maybe Zaha in the squad. Maybe another player I really like is James Ward-Prowse at Southampton. He's a very good playmaker, which England don't have enough of really. They have players like Milner and Carrick and Henderson who are all pretty decent options, but none of them are really going to play like a really good defence splitting pass. Yeah. That's why I'd like to see Ward-Prowse and Shelby in that squad,
and not Adam Lallana. Adam Lallana is a good player. There's no denying that.
But he should have stayed at Southampton, really.
It's been an absolutely disastrous move to Liverpool, and anyone who thinks otherwise is in a complete state of self-denial. Well, should probably have their head checked.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, this is not like let's be nice to everyone football podcast. This is the angry football podcast. I'm angry about the amount of plaudits that Adam Lallana has been receiving.
Well, look, I was talking to a Liverpool fan recently, and even he admitted that Lallana's move to Liverpool hasn't been good. I mean, it's just
it hasn't worked out well for the lad.
I think Liverpool just have an obsession with being the club that gives English players a chance. Like they've bought a lot of, like in recent years, they spent way too much on a lot of English players. Like Lallana, like they got Milner. Okay, we like Milner. He's a good player.
He's very
he's a free transfer, but going back, they spent ridiculous amounts of money on Andy Carroll and Jordan Henderson.
Was Jay Spearing a Liverpool player, or was he?
He was, yeah. They spent big money on Nathaniel Klein who we like, but
he hasn't been performing to the same levels.
Yeah, and so I don't know. I think Liverpool. Yeah, who else did they got? They got Danny Ings in the summer, who has just been injured.
Yeah, which is unfortunate. I think he would have been a good fit up front.
Yeah.
Anyway, we are running out of time, so we're going to move on to our FA Cup preview now.
Yeah.
So it is FA Cup weekend. We love the FA Cup.
I hate it because Newcastle never win.
Oh, it's the Sunday.
While everyone's watching FA Cup action this weekend, I'll be tuning into Norwegian TV to watch Newcastle's friendly against Lillestrøm.
It'd be interesting to have sort of a mid-season friendly, but anyway.
Yeah.
There
is an 18-day break between our last match against Chelsea and our next match against Stoke.
So rather understandable. The Shrewsbury, who are the lowest ranked team, still in the competition.
Are they League 1 or League 2?
I'll have a look here. So we got a Shrewsbury Town in League 1.
League 1 at the moment, yeah. So that's quite...
Playing against a similar powered side in United.
Yeah, well, Man United shouldn't take this for granted because was it last season MK Dons were in League 1 last season and they hammered Man United 4-0. That was in the League Cup, I think.
Yes.
But still,
and it was a pretty very second string United team that they beat.
And also, you remember it was about 2 or 3 seasons ago when Bradford got to the final of the League Cup. And they were in League 2 at the time. They knocked out Arsenal and Aston Villa.
That's what I love about cup competitions. It's totally unpredictable.
Yeah. You always get
small teams rise to the occasion.
Yeah, we've had Sheffield United have done pretty well in cup competitions.
Millwall got to the FA Cup final a few years ago, didn't they?
Millwall, yeah.
Was Richie Sadler still playing for them over there?
We also had we had Birmingham win the League Cup and get relegated in the same season.
And we can do the same with the FA Cup.
Yeah.
So, but we will be watching the Shrewsbury match quite closely.
We'll be rooting for them against.
Yeah, definitely. We're taking the underdog side here,
which is looking at the City Chelsea match. We can't really.
We don't
decide who we want to win.
Is it possible?
We hope they both lose.
Yeah, if that's possible, we're going to go for that. No, but we still...
maybe if they both field an ineligible player and both get disqualified.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
So what would happen, the teams they played in the previous round would go through. So for Chelsea, that would be MK Dons.
MK Dons and for
City, that would be Aston Villa.
So
we'll see them go through, have to play each other. Now, there are still some lower league teams in the fifth round. We have Hull, we have Reading, we have Blackburn, Leeds United.
You just skipped over Leeds United.
Oh, they're on the other side.
Leeds, who were once giants of English football.
As were Blackburn Rovers, we were league winners.
They won the league once when they had
Alan Shearer and Tim Sherwood.
Yes.
For those of you who doubt Tim Sherwood, we will bring up that he was captain of the Blackburn Rovers side that won the league.
And famously, Blackburn turned down the chance to sign Zidane because why would we need Zidane when we have Tim Sherwood?
Good old Tim, him and his life jackets.
Yes. Good old his Adebayor.
Salute. But yeah, we don't expect any of the lower league teams to really be... They're coming up against strong opposition, like Leeds are playing Watford, Reading are playing West Brom.
Well, West Brom haven't been in amazing form recently.
So it is... I'd like to see one of them go through to the sixth round.
Yeah.
Which is the quarterfinal.
Yeah. We'd love it. Just love it if Shrewsbury knocked out Man United.
Oh, absolutely. So let's see. We're going to make it call. I'm going to call Arsenal to beat Hull.
Yeah, Arsenal are in good form. Yeah. Hull, I mean, I'd say the priority of Hull will be prioritising promotion at the moment because they're well in contention. So
I'm going to call Reading to beat West Brom here, just to be edgy.
Well, I watched Newcastle against West Brom 2 weeks ago, and West Brom were absolutely dreadful.
Very
I think they're actually until they beat Crystal Palace last weekend, who were also in poor form. Until they won that match, I thought West Brom, they're in danger of being sucked into the relegation battle now. I think they'll be fine now since they won that game, but they really are in poor form.
Yeah. So I resized the screen and everything's gone away.
Yeah.
You
confuse me.
Watford to beat Leeds.
I think Watford are good at grinding out results even when they're not playing well. Like the front two of Gini and Igalo is really good. They've got a lot of strong defensive midfielders. You know, even when they don't play well, they'll get a result.
Bournemouth Everton.
That's an interesting
draw and a replay,
possibly.
Yeah.
You know, you could say Bournemouth might be prioritising the league and staying out of relegation trouble as well. So it's their first season back in the Premier League, or their first season in the Premier League, so they'll want to stay
and
there.
Everton are probably going to give it everything. So we might look at an Everton win, but we won't be surprised at a draw.
Bournemouth at home, like they've been pretty good at home as well. So that's a tough one to call, I have to say.
Then West Ham to beat Blackburn.
I think that's Blackburn, yeah. I mean, especially since Blackburn sold their talisman, Jordan Rose.
9 million, as we will remind our listeners.
West Ham, they're playing good football under Slaven Bilic, so I'm going to go with them.
Okay, Spurs Crystal Palace.
Well, I think Palace are being Pardew at the moment. I think Palace fans are starting to understand why we didn't like Pardew at Newcastle.
The inevitable slide.
Yeah. So I think Palace have only picked up 1 point in the league this year.
Calendar year.
Yeah, this calendar year. So, and for a while, until they drew with Swansea, who were also in poor form, and until they got that draw, they were the only club in all of England who hadn't picked up a point in 2016.
Yes, and in 6 games, their only goal scorer was Jan Vertonghen.
Yeah.
So we're going to go with Spurs to win here. There won't be a full-strength Spurs side, but they'll have enough about them. Chelsea City, we're going to have to go City here, I think.
I think Chelsea have been very poor, even though they did beat Newcastle 5-1 at the weekend. But I think that was down to Newcastle just being dreadful.
Yeah.
Our defence was like statues. Like, they were just static as William and Costa just waltzed past them time and time again. So I'm going to go with City.
And our last match, we are backing Shrewsbury to hammering Man United.
5 or 6-0.
5 or 6-0. Yeah. So, that's going to be all from us for another week. We hope you enjoyed listening, and best of luck to Shrewsbury Town this weekend. So, I've been Ronan.
I'm Adam Dunn.
And thank you very, very much. Goodbye.
Goodbye. See you next week.